The A1, Britain's longest road. Stretching almost 400 miles from the City of London to the heart of the Scottish capital. Connecting two nations and passing through 18 counties. It's an unrivaled highway used by hundreds of thousands of vehicles every day.
We're going southbound down the A1 on the northbound carriageway.
But not all journeys go to plan.
I thought I'm going to lose my life.
Cars are coming close. It is the dangerous place to be.
Lives can hang in the balance.
The rear end of that vehicle, it's unrecognisable.
This is actually the bodywork of the car.
24 hours a day,
It's not a safe place here.
there's a team of people who keep us safe from harm. The police, response teams,
We don't know whether they've got the road closed or we don't know what's happened.
and traffic officers.
Keep going.
Keeping Britain's most iconic road
Get out!
on the move.
Substantially damaged flatbed truck in lane 2.
The A1, the monster that it is, will start to return to normal.
Coming up, a countryside crash leaves a biker fighting for his life.
You're always thinking the worst with a motorcycle accident.
Traffic officers come face to face with a lorry driver flouting the law.
You can't stop on hard shoulder of a motorway.
I'm going to break the law then.
And for one motorist, a blowout sparks a culinary crisis.
We teasing the oven, teasing the dog.
From busy city routes to urban motorway and even countryside road, the A1 is an ever-changing landscape which can bring unique challenges for the people that work the length and breadth of this historic highway. A1 Patrol Officer PC Darren Lance Patch, in his native Northumbria, covers more than 70 diverse miles of the road. He's heading to one of its most troublesome sections, just north of Newcastle. Here, the A1 becomes a single-lane road, with no central reservation.
The dynamics of accidents change. You get more serious accidents up here with motorcycles and cars. And we do get quite a lot of head-on collisions on this road, simply because people want to do the overtake on the single carriageway, and they don't appreciate how fast the inbound car is coming towards them.
And not long after, a call comes in confirming just how treacherous this section of the A1 can be.
It's a motorcycle RTC. Rider looks to be injured on the floor with damage on him.
As one of the closest patrols,
Sirens on.
Darren responds immediately.
We've now got reports of a motorcycle and a car collision just south of Morpeth.
But still, 15 miles from the scene, it's crucial he gets there quickly, which involves high-speed driving and overtaking along this single-lane section.
Stay where you are. We've got very little details at the minute, but we believe the motorcyclist is injured. You're always thinking the worst with a motorcycle accident.
As he approaches the accident, there's already a mile-long tailback, forcing Darren to squeeze perilously between queuing traffic and oncoming vehicles. Arriving on the scene, the situation looks extremely serious. The rider is being treated on the road after colliding with the back of a car at high speed.
Can I give you a hand without?
No, you're all right.
You sure?
With paramedics taking care of the rider, Darren starts to piece together exactly what happened.
How are you doing? Are you all right?
Yeah, a bit shaky.
Bit shaken. Okay, don't worry about it.
I think he's breathing and that.
What happened?
I'm an architect on the site at Hebron Hill Farm.
Okay.
It's a bad right-hand turn here.
Yeah.
I've slowed down, I've indicated to turn right. I've come into here. And as I was driving in, there was an almighty whack. All I would assume is that he's tried to overtake.
The full force of the impact has flung the rider almost 20 metres down the road.
The driver of the silver car here, the BMW, he appears to be okay. A little bit shocked and shaken, but we're going to get him away, get him up the site, he'll get a cup of tea, get him warmed up, and then we'll keep the road closed until we make sure he's all right.
As other officers control passing traffic, Darren learns the full extent of the biker's injuries from paramedics.
Left forearm.
Left forearm's broke.
Right thigh.
His thigh's broke, is it?
Quite a lot.
Is it?
Yeah.
Multiple fractures and possible internal injuries could be life-changing for the motorcyclist. Darren's going to be pushed to the limit, dealing with this serious incident. More than 110 miles south of the rural landscape of Northumbria is one of the busiest intersections on the whole of the A1, where it meets the M62. Traffic officers Paul Day and Rob Larkin are tasked with keeping this area safe. A common danger is lorry drivers taking a break on the hard shoulder. When the traffic officers turn up, they don't usually stick around.
1-3, it looks like we've scared him off. He's left scene, over.
By law, lorry drivers need to rest for 45 minutes every 4.5 hours. They should find a safe place to pull over, but some of them think it's okay to take their break on the hard shoulder. But that's against the law.
For an LGV parked on hard shoulder, Rob.
Paul wants to catch this trucker before he gives him the slip.
Because it's quite wide, LGVs just think it's okay to stop, especially foreign LGVs. They don't realise that they cannot stop on a British motorway, except for an emergency.
The driver's keen to let Paul know he's abiding by the rest break rules.
Hi.
Good day.
All right?
Yes. 45 minutes.
Can't stop on a British hard shoulder, boss. You have to come off at the next junction.
I have no parking place here.
It's not my problem, mate. You'll have to come off at 37 and turn right. When you turn right, there's a parking space off there.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
It may seem like a minor issue, but these illegal pit stops put lives in danger.
Being parked on the hard shoulder is one of the most dangerous parts of the motorway. The longer you are on the hard shoulder, the greater the chances that you're going to get hit.
More than 50 people are killed or seriously injured in hard shoulder accidents on Britain's roads each year. Yet despite the danger, drivers continue to put themselves and others at risk. But with thousands of lorry drivers using the A1 every day, it's a battle to which Rob and Paul will return. More than 2 hours' drive north near Morpeth, PC Darren Lant is still dealing with the aftermath of a serious collision, where a 57-year-old biker's life is on the line. Less than an hour ago, his motorbike collided with the back of a stationary BMW, which resulted in the rider suffering life-threatening injuries. After stabilizing him, the paramedics can now get the motorcyclist off the road and into the ambulance.
Yeah, he's not very well, bless him. He's conscious and breathing, but he's got multiple fractures, both arms and possibly both legs. Certainly one of his legs, but possibly both legs.
With the paramedics taking care of the biker, Darren's attention now turns to the traffic, which is tailing back several miles in both directions.
It's the main road, isn't it? There's only one way in and out of Scotland up this way, so we've got to get this open because of the delay in traffic. People getting frustrated.
But before the road can be fully cleared, Darren needs to document the scene and gather any evidence which could be used in a prosecution. While the wrecked bike waits for its roadside rescue, its owner is on his way to the last place any driver wants to end up when they set out on a journey.
The motorcyclist, he's going to be blue lighted down to Newcastle's Royal Victoria, the hospital, the trauma hospital, where he's going to go into specialist care.
An hour after the accident, this vital section of the A1 is cleared of debris and ready to be reopened. Motorcyclists accounted for 1 in every 7 people killed on the A1 in 2015. And Darren is well used to dealing with the aftermath of these accidents.
I don't know, I've got mixed feelings about motorbikes. I like watching the motor superbikes and all that sort of stuff, but you just got no protection, very, very little protection on a motorbike. You kind of become desensitised to it. You know, I've seen it that many times now, and I've dealt with that many accidents. It's just part and parcel of a motor patrol's job. It's our role.
With the motorcyclist heading to hospital for emergency treatment, back at base, Darren has the difficult task of informing his family.
What's happened is your dad's been involved in an accident on his motorcycle. He's all right. He's got some quite nasty injuries, and he's been taken to the RVI. He's in a critical but stable condition, and he's going to be in there for a while.
It's a call no one wants to receive or make, but with over 180,000 casualties on Britain's roads each year, it's a hard reality of every patrol officer's role. "130 miles south, on one of the busiest motorway stretches of the A1 near Doncaster, 2 Highways England traffic officers are on a mission to prevent accidents. Rob and Paul are on the lookout for lorry drivers illegally blocking the hard shoulder, putting themselves and other drivers at risk. And now they've got another lorry in their sights.
He looks like he's broken down, but I'm not sure.
Drivers can only stop on the hard shoulder of the A1 in emergencies. But some truckers use it as a parking spot when trying to follow an EU law saying they must rest for 45 minutes every 4.5 hours.
Hiya, mate. What's up?
I just realised I'm on my 4.5.
I knew you were going to tell me that. You can't stop on hard shoulder of a motorway.
I know, that's why I use this bit instead of a slip road.
This is not allowed here. You're actually on a motorway. You can't stop here either.
Lorry driver Paul Coote is on his way to Norwich with a wagon full of kitchen units and broom handles. And it's looking like he's trying to give Paul the brush off.
I'm going to break the law then, you've just told me to.
That's up to yourself. You've got to find your own place to park.
I'll stick to the law and I'm going to be reported for it.
Well, you're not sticking to law because you're not allowed to stop on hard shoulder of a motorway, but that's not my choice. It's up to you.
I'm sticking to the EU tacho laws.
A tacho or tachograph is a digital device fitted to vehicles which records speed and distance. It will register if the driver fails to stop his truck for the required 45 minutes, which is a serious breach of the EU law. So lorry driver Paul is desperate to stick around.
Oh, am I good for 4 minutes?
I can't tell you you're good for 4 minutes. What I have to do is pass your details on. If you're saying 4 minutes, then 4 minutes is 4 minutes.
Paul doesn't have the power to move the driver on, but he can inform him of the rules.
If you'd have come off at 37, there's a lay-by off the left-hand side there.
I didn't know that.
I appreciate that, but you've just got to do that. Your responsibility, you're the man.
Yep.
All right. No worries, I'll pass your details on.
Well, I lied. I'm not on a break. The turbo's gone.
Right, have you got any recovery? I'll have you started.
It's coming, it's coming.
You're not going to win.
I might not wait for it, though.
You're not going to win. Right. Safer out of the vehicle than in the vehicle, because you're obviously going to stay for your 4 minutes. But you're safer out of the vehicle than in the vehicle, and keep your eye on traffic. All right. No worries.
All right then, thanks.
Look after you, Senya.
Paul radios an update to the control room.
He is on a tacho brake, very, very close to the end of his brake. Obviously, we've given him safety advice, said he shouldn't do it. We've had a bit of a debate about it, and the upshot is he's staying here till he's finished his brake. Over.
Paul Coote has been driving lorries for more than 40 years, but today he admits he's learned a valuable lesson.
He's come out and he's pointed something out which I didn't know of. I knew I'm not allowed on the hard shoulder on a motorway, but being on the slip road, I thought I might have been all right on a works unit. I'm not. It's something I've learned, and that's the way it goes. It's practically impossible to know every area, every place you could stop. If you're on a regular route, you know what you have a regular stopping point. Once I realised I was 3 miles from the M18, I had to stop. Got to adhere to the law, but it makes you break another law. So where'd you stand? It's just a nonsense, I'm afraid.
The tacho laws were brought in to protect truckers from being asked to drive while tired. And fatigue is still a factor in about 1 in 5 serious motorway crashes. But to avoid breaking the law by stopping on the hard shoulder, drivers need to plan ahead.
All we can do is explain and say, look, you're not allowed to stop, you know you're not allowed to stop, and you get a bit of backwards and forwards with them saying, well, I've no time left, I've no time left. Well, that's fine, you might not have any time left, but it's their responsibility to find the place of safety
before the
time runs out.
As an ex-bus driver himself, Paul understands the lorry driver's dilemma.
My mates who are truckers are going to go mad with me.
Is that because you're the nasty guy from Highways England?
All I keep doing is moving trucks on.
Get off my motorway!
As Britain's longest road, the A1 sees its fair share of broken-down vehicles. And as this footage shows, being stranded next to fast-moving motorway traffic is an extremely perilous place to be. On the western bypass near Newcastle, there's no hard shoulder for stricken vehicles to pull into, so they're especially vulnerable. Fortunately, there's help at hand. Motorbike rider Peter Dodds.
Breaking down is a traumatic experience for everybody. It has a knock-on effect for everybody. Kids going to school and so on, so you need to try and get them people out there as quick as possible to let everybody else do their thing through life.
When vehicles break down, it's Peter's mission to get them off the road fast.
And when they put you on the back of the bike, you pick your car up, you in the car, take you off to the place of safety.
But how does one man and his motorbike move a car weighing just over a ton? This is no ordinary bike. It's been specially adapted with a hydraulic trailer. It unfolds, allowing Peter to carry cars and small vans off the A1, all in a matter of minutes. Which is why round these parts he's known as the Minute Man.
Just driving up the road and the car just came up with a fault on the dashboard. It totally put out. It wouldn't restart.
In next to no time, the Polo is hitched up on Peter's trailer.
It's awesome technology that gets us off the road and safe quick.
In just 10 minutes, Peter and his incredible bike are back on the road, with driver and car in tow. Leaving the traffic on the A1 to flow freely again. Peter's one of a small band of Minutemen patrolling the A1. They deal with more than 900 incidents every year. And their powers really come into their own when dealing with emergencies. There's been a 3-car pile-up outside Newcastle at rush hour. With traffic mounting, it looks like there's no way through. This is clearly a job for the Minuteman. Peter makes short work of cutting through the cars. He's one of the first recovery services on the scene, where a 3-vehicle shunt in the outside lane has led to traffic chaos.
We've got a Mondeo Estate and then a Skoda Yeti 4-wheel drive. The lightest one there is going to be the Astra at the front, actually.
Let's have a look.
Fortunately, no one is hurt, but Peter knows that the longer the cars stay in the lane, the greater the chance of another collision. And there are vulnerable drivers stranded in the central reservation.
The lad on the back just didn't stop and he ploughed into the back of him, and then he hit the back of me, and I had a lass that was in front of me, but obviously their car wasn't that much damaged. Mine's mostly superficial, which just popped me radiator as well.
But his luck's about to change. His car is a perfect fit for Peter's bike, and he'll be off the road in no time.
Ready? Are you ready to go? We'll take you around the engine of the north out the way. Jump in your driver's seat there, don't touch anything.
Yeah.
Put your seatbelt on.
Yeah.
This lad will put you in the front seat of the car. Put him on the passenger seat, please.
Peter's ready to roll, just as the recovery truck turns up to deal with the other 2 vehicles. For this high-vis hero, it's just another day on the job. And for the drivers desperate to get on their way, Peter and his high-tech bike have saved the day.
Obviously when the bike turned up I was wondering what it was, and then obviously when I seen it getting put into its positions and stuff, it's good bit of kit, it's Gucci.
Love the bikes. Absolutely love them, and most of all, I love helping people.
With more than 60% of us commuting by car, it's no surprise Britain's major roads feel the strain. It's Friday night rush hour, the A1's busiest time of the week. PC Alan Keenlyside is battling through traffic to another incident near Newcastle.
So we're travelling to a report of a live lane breakdown on the A1. So we're in rush hour traffic now, it's dark, it's potentially going to be on an unlit or poorly lit section of the A1. So we've got a real risk here of a stationary car in the slow lane of the A1, and it's vulnerable. And we need to get there really quickly. Worst case scenario is a car travelling at 70 miles an hour crashes into that vehicle. There's always injuries, it's quite often loss of life. So yeah, we treat it really, really seriously. The vehicle's going to be around this bend. There it is. It's actually sticking well up into lane 1.
Alan's called in help from colleagues in an unmarked police car.
Do you want to come ahead of me in the unmarked? What I've done then is that's an unmarked motor patrol's vehicle. It's safer to have a fully marked vehicle at the back using all our reflective equipment.
With traffic building fast, Alan needs to make sure the driver is out of harm's way.
It's backed up as far as you can see backwards in lane 2. I would normally go down, but they've actually just pushed it. So they've been able to push the vehicle downhill. That'll get the 2 police vehicles off the road, and then we can deal with this broken down with all lanes open. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
You all right?
You've got a big massive pop on the inside.
Brand new tyre as well.
Driver Alistair's had a blowout on the main carriageway, and Alan's not prepared to let him change the tyre in such a dangerous spot.
We could temporarily stop the slip road.
Do you want me to put a closure on just before the junction?
Yes, mate.
Go into the kennel.
Yes, mate.
Alan has no choice but to shepherd the car back onto the A1. While the other team closes the slip road, driver Alistair reverses the car the wrong way up it. And he finally finds a place of safety.
I was going home for my tea, so my tea's in the oven.
Teasing the dog?
No, tea's in the oven. I phoned the wife. I'll be a bit late. Why? I've had a blowout. All right, I'll put your tea in the oven. She didn't even ask if I was okay.
Run there.
Run there.
Right the way around. That was the tricky bit.
There you are, try that.
But changing the wheel is proving a much tougher job than they both expected.
Is it going in at all, is it?
Yeah.
Seems to be a fair bit still to go on that.
Yeah, there is. On all four of them.
The only thing I can think is you put a steel wheel on and it's an alloy wheel nut.
Not safe to drive, is it?
The pair are baffled as to why the bolts are failing to fully tighten. But Alan's determined to get Alistair on his way and hopes someone at the local services can shed some light.
The gentleman's got the best part of about 35 miles to go, so I'd be happy if he went to the service station, go into the garage and see if they've got anything in there. I'm kind of hoping, if I've got to be honest, that this service station that we're heading to might have some repair parts. It's always nice to be able to help someone to a resolution whereby they're on the way and they're on the way home.
At the service station, it looks like help might be at hand.
Sometimes in these places you get people from the AA and the RAC who might be taking a break, and if I cue the right alley light, it's the RAC. See who it is? It's the 4th emergency service. Oh, is that the AA? That's the AA. It's the 5th emergency service.
I'll ask him anyway.
But the driver doesn't have the parts.
This lad's just a recovery lad, so unfortunately can't help me.
So Alistair finally calls his own recovery provider, hoping they can get to grips with the tricky wheel bolts.
See, we've got a canny gap, and that's as tight as we can get them. But that's right. Is it? Aye, there's a sticker there, tells you. It's telling you that's all right.
Who reads instruction manuals? Why didn't we see that?
So pointed to that sticker there, which clearly shows that there's a gap between the nut and the casing of the wheel, which we've got.
And if there was something wrong, at least he's going to check it, and you're going to get the professional to have a look at it with the proper talking.
You've already looked at it. If you lads hadn't been there and I'd done that myself, I would have been like, no way. Yeah. It's not very obvious, is it?
It's only yellow on black. That could have made it stand out a bit more, couldn't it?
The motorcyclist left badly injured after crashing on the A1 has undergone multiple operations, but is now on the road to recovery. And after fixing his tyre, Alistair finally managed to make it home for his tea.